Hello po and good afternoon. It's a beautiful afternoon po ngayon and we're happy to have you join us. Thank you for joining and my name is Dr. Anna York Bondoc po. I am a pulmonary and critical care specialist from the University of the Philippines. I am trained abroad. I have a clinic po in St. Luke's, QC, and I am happy to answer po. Q&A po ito for lahat ng mga COVID positive questions at saka po yung gusto nyo pong malaman about home quarantine ngayong hapon na to. This is our second part kasi napakarami po talaga nagtanong the first time, naubusan po kami ng oras. So we're inviting you again to put your questions down below. Nag-carry over po kami ng mga questions and yun po ang una naming babasahin. So kung kayo po ay may kamag-anak who is COVID positive, if you are worried about your kamag-anak who are COVID positive, if you are worried kasi wala na pong mapagtanungan na doktor, if you are worried dahil puno ng mga ospital, eto na po. Magtanong na po kayo rito. Again, I'd like to remind everyone that our questions po are general in nature. Mas maganda pa rin ho to consult your own doctor and to go to the ER po if you do think it is an emergency. Please join us on YouTube. We are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers and our YouTube po, ilalagay po nila is Dr. Anna York Bondo. So good afternoon po sa mga COVID positive, sa mga ninenervyos sa COVID, yung mga nagtatanong tungkol sa bakuna, eto na po yon. Okay? So while we are migrating the questions, I would like to ask the first question. Okay, and this first question po comes from, eto po, from Vinyala Nukom. Hello po, Doktora. I just want to ask if it is necessary po ba talaga na mag-undergo ng set of lab tests prior to vaccination sa katulad ko po na may comorbidity, hypertensive. Thanks po. Thanks, Vin, for the question. Marami po talagang nagtatanong, ano. For those with comorbidities, can you please flash the comorbidities? Ano ba yon? Those are sakit po that you have that may include po hypertension, diabetes, it may include cancer, it may include sakit sa bato, dialysis po, just any sakit po na meron kayo. Okay? And people often ask, do you need, ayan po, comorbidity, that's what it means, no? Kung high blood po kayo, may diabetes, ganun po, no? Do you need lab tests? Hindi naman po, you can get vaccinated po without lab tests. But kung nag-iingat lang po yung doktor nyo, wala naman din pong masama. If you do have comorbidities and are taking a lot of medicines, it's okay po. It would be good to give your doctor po at least a text message, Doc, magpapabakuna po ako. And most of the people who are ano po with comorbidities receive Astra. Okay, receive Astra. But it is okay to receive both Sinovac po and Astra, though Astra is recommended for seniors and those with stable comorbid conditions. Halimbawa po, kayo po ay nakaratay, maybe on active chemotherapy, yung talagang grabe po yung comorbidity nyo, it would be best po to talk to your doctor before you get vaccinated. But actually po, there are only two major issues against being vaccinated. The first po is if you are allergic to any component of the vaccine. Number two po, if you had a very severe reaction to any vaccination, hindi po yung bumigat ang kamay. What I mean is kung na-emergency room po kayo after any vaccination, it would be good to let the doctor know about that. And the second reason po, absolute na hindi kayo pwedeng mabakunahan, is if you are taking or immunosuppressed. Yung grabe po yung immunosuppression nyo. Again, that is rare. Thirdly, hypertensive, it's okay to get vaccinated. In fact, it is advised to get vaccinated and actually wala naman ho talaga kailangan ng lab test. Baka naman gusto kayo lang ma-check up ng doktor dahil isang taon na ho kayong hindi pumupunta doon. Well, that would be a good reason to have a lab test. Okay, next question. Ready na ba?
From Miss Cathy Rodriguez. Hi, Doc. Doc, still waiting for the possible vaccine available. I am thinking of taking IVIC. Being so active and always out of tripping, meeting, travel, I'll take anything just to be safe.
Ano po yung IVIC? Ito ba yung ivermectin? I'm assuming, iyan po yon ano, I'm assuming. Ma'am, kung gusto niyo pong magpapurga, uminom po kayo ng ivermectin. Actually, marami ho talagang I don't wanna say this, it might be medyo scary, pero marami ho talagang napurga biglaan. Ivermectin po is really a drug po for anti-parasites. That includes a lot of intestinal parasites po. So if you take it, automatic po para kayong napupurga. Well, wala naman hong masama doon because a lot of Filipinos do harbor intestinal parasites. Ano po? And wala naman pong masama na mapurga ang isang tao. There's really nothing wrong. With regards po to the being safe, well, you will be safe from parasites, that is sure. Pero being safe po from COVID, hindi pa po proven yon. If you would like to take it, I'm not here to tell you na hindi. I'm just here to advise you that it is not FDA approved at meron din pong mga side effects ang ivermectin. Whether it will protect you po from COVID, hindi pa po natin alam because there are no clinical studies that support this issue. And sana po gumawa na nga po sila ng clinical studies. As of the moment po, it is not FDA certified. So number one, if you do take ivermectin, we do not know po. Kasi we are also not allowed to import it. So wala po siyang wala po siya talagang there's no import certificate din po sa Pilipinas. So if you happen to buy it from somebody, hindi po natin alam kung saan nila kinuha yun. Kung may mangyari po sa inyo, they will ask you, where did you buy the medicine? Ano po ang isasagot natin? Okay? And number 3, may mga side effects din po. And number 4, baka makakuha pa po kayo ng mga illegally imported. Baka yung sa aso binigay sa inyo. Because there is ivermectin po for dogs. So, I would advise po much caution. And number 2, to let you know that it is not yet certified that it can help COVID. And number 3, kung napaka-active po ninyo, I would suggest, why do you need to be so active po ba? Is it due to your job? Kasi po, really, it is safer to work from home. Kung hindi naman po talagang matter of life and death, it would be better po to be less active and to be more safe. At kung magiging active po kayo, always bring your mask and your face shield. Okay? So I'm sorry for, I hope I got the correct drug ha. Kung hindi po yon, please correct me. Kasi baka kung ano pinagsasabi ko, hindi iba talaga po yung IVIC. I am presuming po that that is ivermectin. And again, make sure po that, kasi may paggamot pong pang-aso to eh. And of course, people are wanting to earn money. Alam mo naman, they are not naman ho, you do not buy this from Mercury Drug because they're not allowed to sell it. So wala po tayong kasiguraduhan what it is you are taking. Okay?
Okay. From Miss Carla Marie, hi again, Doctora. What is your advice to all the seniors who are hesitant to take the vaccine?
Thanks, Carla. Carla is a friend of mine, and I'm also a friend of her mom and her dad. So, my advice po, no, let's say ikaw, Carla, or ako, I have a senior like my mom, my tita, my lola. I haven't even asked my tita if she wants to be vaccinated. Na parang natatakot po, no? First of all, I would tell them 2 things. Number 1, the reason po that inuuna po ang mga seniors talaga sa bakuna is because they are the vulnerable population. So kung meron let's say no, may limang tao po sa isang bahay and they all got COVID and one of them is 78 years old and sabihin pa po natin diabetic. 2 are 50 years old and 2 are teenagers. The one who talaga who is in direct danger of dying is really the older person. Kasi po, 2% nga po ang mamamatay ng COVID. But ang hindi po natin ine-emphasize is majority of that 2% will be the elderly. Yung mga bata po, most of them will have mild to moderate COVID at dahil malakas po yung katawan nila, they could withstand it. So that 2% po, your chance of dying gets higher as you get older. So yung chance po na isang senior na mamatay versus isang 20 years old po, mas mataas po talaga yung chance po ni senior. Okay? Number 2 po is, so seniors are in great danger of dying from COVID. And number 2, napakarami na pong seniors na nabakunahan without anything happening to them. In the UK, in the US, inuna po nila yung mga seniors and marami po sa kanila are now going to church, going around, meeting their families po, na relax na po sila sa sarili nila. So I would advise that to your lola or your lolo kasi, or your parents, kasi kung hindi po sila nabakunahan after 1 year, nakakatakot pa rin ho silang lumabas, pero lahat po ng ibang nabakunahan, labas na po ng labas. So, malungkot din po yun, di ba? Opo. So, I would advise them to be brave, to realize that many people have taken that na rin po at okay pa naman ho sila. And number 3 po, yung consequences po talaga pag magka-COVID po ang isang senior, talagang mas grabe po talaga ang mangyayari sa kanya versus a younger person. Okay? Thanks, Carla.
From Teen Agnes Rosales, Hi po, Doktora. Okay lang po ba na nag-positive po yung boyfriend ko? Tapos magkasama kami naka-quarantine dito lang sa bahay namin. Ako po may sakit, lagnat po at ubo sipon. Tapos nagkasipon na din boyfriend ko at naubo.
So, what is the question? Sorry, hindi ko po nakuha. What is the question? I realize na dalawa silang nagkakaroon ng ubo at sipon. Am I correct? And they are in one house.
Yes.
So what's the question? Sorry, hindi ko na-gets.
Actually, Doc, hindi ko rin na-gets yung question. I'll just read the whole statement. From Teen Agnes Rosales, Hi po, Doktora. Okay lang po ba na nag-positive po yung boyfriend ko? Tapos, magkasama kami na naka-quarantine.
Wait, sandali. The boyfriend is COVID positive. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, next.
Tapos, magkasama kami naka-quarantine dito lang sa bahay namin.
They're both in one house. Okay. Next.
Ako po may sakit, lagnat po at ubo sipon. Tapos, nagkasipon na din po boyfriend ko at naubo.
Parang nauna siya sa boyfriend niya? Ganun ba?
Hindi ko rin po maintindihan.
Okay, so this is what I understand. Okay, the boyfriend tested COVID positive and they are both in one house. And ngayon, silang dalawa ay may simptomas. Tama ba ako?
Yes, that's
okay.
correct.
So ganito po yun, Ma'am Tin. If your boyfriend has tested positive, he definitely needs to isolate po for 14 days. Okay? So dapat dun lang ho siya talaga. Ngayon, if there's only 2 of you, actually he should have stayed in the room po and locked the door. Hindi ho dapat kayo nakikita. But it's from what I read, baka nakikita ho kayo, no? So kayo po ay malamang inuubo na rin ho at sinisipon. So ang meaning no, nagkakaroon na po kayo ng simptomas, ma'am. If you would like to have a swab 5 days after, nakikita ba kayo araw-araw? So after 5 days, pwede na ho kayong, you can have a COVID test if you want. Kasi po, kung COVID positive rin po kayo, then your immediate family, I don't know if you and the boyfriend are living together. Naku, Diyos ko. Itong problema ng contact tracing, naging chismosa ka eh. If you are actually living with your family or you have been visiting your family, as a household contact, sila po ay dapat ma-isolate kung maging positive ka, no? And also, you need to call your job kung maging positive ka. If you have no money for COVID testing, both of you just stay in that house for 14 days plus, wala pong lalabas, wala pong papasok. Okay? And just ask your kamag-anakan po to bring food and leave it po sa harap ng bahay. Okay? And since magkasama na rin ho kayo, that's it. And you guys have to stay together until the 14 days are up. Doon ho matitest kung talagang the one si boyfriend. Okay? So I hope you guys take care of each other and kakayanin nyo yan, okay?
Okay, from Surge Tips. Doktora, magandang gabi from Papua New Guinea. Tanong ko po, diabetic po ako, kakalabas lang ng blood test ko. Ang HbA1c 7.78, normal pa po ba? Hindi kasi ako makalabas kasi naka-isolate ako.
Sir, I don't know much about your circumstance, so it's hard for me po to answer this question. Lalo na kung nasa PNG po kayo, advice ko po sa inyo is try to get a video conferencing po with a doctor po dyan sa Papua New Guinea, preferably po internal medicine, and ipakonsulta nyo po yung nararamdaman ninyo po. Okay? But then, diabetes naman po, sir, it's a long-term disease. So, makakayanan naman ho nyo yan, I'm sure. It's just hard for me to give a comment kasi po, I'm not there. Opo. Kung minsan, please try to understand. Internet lang po ito. Wala po ako doon. I did not see you. And most of the advice again that we give is general. Kung meron ho talagang specific na problema or hindi na po kayo makahinga, you need to go po to the ER or to call po your personal doctor. Ito po, general information. Okay? But thank you po and stay safe dyan po sa PNG. Ay, by the way ha, Rina, I read may surge sa Papua New Guinea and actually tinutulungan na daw sila ng Australia. So, naintindihan ko po ang problema po ni Sir.
Okay. From Mr. Matt Gibb, Doc, ilang araw po ba nawawala ang COVID kapag nag-positive?
Sir, theoretically, no, kung mild lang po, moderate, or even walang simptomas, sa ibang bansa po, 3 days after the last fever, pwede na po kayong lumabas. Sa ibang lugar naman po, 10 days after the first symptoms and 3 days after the last lagnat, pwede na pong lumabas. Sa Pilipinas po, we are even longer. We are using 14 days quarantine period. So, from the time po na may nagpa-test kayo or from the time na kung di kayo nagpa-test, may symptoms, it has to be 14 days po na quarantine and 3 days po na wala na po kayong lagnat at wala na pong nararamdaman. But again, I would like to say that there are cases na kuminsan po nagtatagal. I know persons po na up to 2 weeks nanghihina pa po. So those people, they need to consult a doctor po and they need to stay in the quarantine and isolation longer. Okay? Magandang hapon po. Ito lang Sir Matt. After 14 days, if you are feeling well, walang lagnat, 3 araw na po, halos tumatalo na kayong palabas dyan sa quarantine, no need po to have a second swab. Ang daming nagtatanong nito araw-araw. If you feel well, if you had mild COVID, if you have finished your 14 days quarantine, pwede na po kayo lumabas with safety and no need to have a second swab. Nakalagay po yan sa DOH guidelines. Okay?
Okay, next question from Miss May Bataclan. Hi, Dr. Ana. Pag may COVID na po ba yung mga maintenance, need po nila continue to take pa rin po ba? Salamat po, Doktora. Keep safe.
Yes, ma'am. That's an excellent question. Halimbawa po, high blood po kayo, you definitely po need to take your high blood medications pa rin. Kasi baka naman ho, aside from the COVID, tumaas pa pressure nyo. Okay? Number 2, ito lang ang very important, ano? If you are diabetic, okay, meron kayong maintenance po na insulina. Sabihin po natin, if you get quarantine po, lalo na po kung kayo po ay nawalan ng panlasa and you do not feel like eating and then nagsuka pa po kayo, it is emergent that you talk po to your diabetes doctor. Bakit? Kasi po, may iba po yung insulinang kailangan nyo. Because po you are not eating, you might be giving yourself too much insulin and they will need to monitor your sugar closely. But all hypertensives, all gout, all, ano pa ba, what are those on medicines? Anti-cholesterol, you need to take that. Kasi po, hindi naman mawawala yung high blood nyo while you have COVID. So you need to take that. Kailangan lang po talaga ng caution for diabetics. Kasi po, some of the medications that you take are based on what you're eating. So if you're not eating, then you may need to stop the medications. Okay? So yun lang po. If you have diabetes and you're quarantined and you're not eating and you're injecting insulin, call the doctor.
From Miss Christina, what can you say about Lianhua and ivermectin, Doc? Are they effective for COVID patients?
Yung Lianhua po, it's licensed by FDA, supposedly po for the symptoms. So you can take it naman po and it is sold po. Kumbaga, properly licensed naman. Yung ivermectin po is not licensed. So mahirap po talagang uminom ng mga gamot po na walang lisensya. Kasi po pag may nangyari, sino pong mananagot noon? Okay? So let's just wait po for the ivermectin to be approved by the FDA kung sakali man, and then we can take it po with safety. Hanggang habang hindi pa po siya approved and people are selling it sa kanto-kanto, what ginawa daw nila yon, wala na ho tayong kasiguraduhan. Can we trust them? Are they licensed by the government? Pag may nangyari ho ba, sinong mananagot? Yun po yung tanong. Okay, so yun po.
From Timoteo, Bondoc, Doktora, pwede po bang gawing regular yung pag-steam? Nakakatulong po ba yun para mabawasan yung COVID? Ingat po.
Wala pong naitutulong yung steaming sa pagbabawas po ng COVID. It is not related. But if you would like to steam yourself, wala naman pong masama doon. If you are COVID positive naman po and that you are steaming to make yourself feel better, eto lang ho please be in one room po with the windows open and the door closed. Why? Kasi po, yung steaming na yon para na rin ho yung normal saline, nebulization. So, habang ginagawa niyo po yung steaming, it will stimulate a cough reflex. Once you cough, lalabas nga po yung plema. That's why people steam para lumabas yung plema. Ang problema, once you cough, you're spraying COVID particles all over the room. So, sa mga ospital po, we are no longer allowed to do normal saline nebulization. Paborito ko pa naman yun, along with cupping and clapping. So, yun po actually yung that's the thought po behind the steaming is to stimulate a cough response. Pag nag-cough po kayo at COVID positive po kayo, naku, Diyos ko, kinalat nyo po yung buong COVID nyo sa buong lugar na pinag-ubuhan nyo po. So if you are COVID positive and you want to steam yourself, please, mag-isa lang po. Number 2, nasa loob ng kwarto, nakasarado po yung pintuan. And number 3, with electric fan po and bukas ang bintana para yung inubo nyo, diretso po talaga yon into the garden. Huwag kung diretso into the house of the kapitbahay, kundi kawawa yun. So there's nothing wrong naman po with steaming except that it does not cure COVID. It will not prevent COVID and it may spread COVID pa po if you are not careful. Okay? So, Rains, am I answering short? I'm trying to keep my answer short because marami nga pong nagtatanong. Am I correct?
Yes po, Doktora. Pero I think okay naman po yung pag-answer po ninyo.
Okay lang. Okay, pasyensya
Yes
na
po.
ha.
No worries po. Please, okay, from one of our viewer, Doktora, nakakahawa po ba ang COVID sa mga kasex? I'm so worried kasi aminin na natin, medyo marami akong mga partners. How do I protect them? Okay.
Magandang tanong
Valid,
yan,
valid po,
Yeah,
valid.
I mean, it's a very relevant question nowadays. It's not for us to judge anybody's sex life, but for us to accept it and to give them the best advice. Ito po ang masasabi ko. Ang COVID, nakakahawa po through respiration. Ano bang respiration? Yung paghinga po ng tao. And usually that occurs when people have prolonged interaction in one room po na walang mask. So, sa akin po, if you're going to makikipagtalik po kayo with somebody who is not from your household, may expose po talaga kayo sa kanya at siya sa inyo. I cannot imagine doing this without parang nakasuot ng mask. Parang hirap no? So let's just presume na walang mask. Upon which, talagang you are vulnerable to him or her, and siya rin po sa inyo. Kasi dalawa kayong walang mask. Nobody knows po kung kayo po ay positive or negative. So mahirap po talaga. So no po na may risk po siya talaga. May risk siya talaga, especially if you nakikipagtalik po kayo outside of your household. And I am not judging anyone, pero marami po talagang tao, pag linapitan po ng contact tracer, hindi makasagot. And sometimes, meron po talagang, may nangyaring hindi po nila gustong malaman ng buong bahay. And that may include po this sort of issue. So talagang if you're gonna do that, talagang dangerous po yan kasi talagang pwede pong yung hininga po ng mga tao maghahalo talaga. And for AIDS avoidance, they always say use a condom. Unfortunately po, for COVID, hindi po siya sexual ang contact. Like mga mga bodily fluids po ang AIDS. Ang COVID po talaga mas mahirap kasi po ito po yung hininga ng tao. At dalawa po kayo or tatlo or whatever, ayoko na kung mag-judge, pero nasa loob po kayo na isang kwarto and magkakahawaan ho talaga if someone was COVID positive. My best advice, siguro po, it should be, if you are married, should be within the one household. Yung unang nagtanong, kasama niya yung boyfriend niya sa bahay, that might also be good. Mag-quarantine na lang kayong magkasama. Okay? Or stay together kung kayo na talaga meant to be na yon, magsama na kayo and that'll be it. Okay? But if you are having sex with multiple partners during this time, know that AIDS is an issue, but if you're using a condom, COVID is also an issue. So, yun lang po. And sa mga contract tracers, ito lang. You know, it's not for us to judge anyone, what they're doing or their morality. Ang ginijudge ko lang is whether they wore a mask or were socially distanced. And when we're talking about sex, parang mahirap siyang maging socially distanced. Unless, of course, it's online sex. Ibang issue na po yun. Okay? So magandang hapon po. And thank you for that question. Sensitive po siya, but sometimes we need to talk about sensitive matters. O ikaw, Reyna.
Yes po, Doc. Ano po yung kung sensitive po ba ako?
Yeah, kailangan pag-usapan and we need to be
Actually,
honest.
maganda po yung actually, I am very glad somebody has brought that up. Yes. I'm glad na may somebody na nag-brought up noon kasi tama yun kasi nangyayari po yun. Nangyayari, hindi man tinatanong yun. It's a taboo question. And perhaps baka di naman tayo dumami ang search natin. I am not saying this is solely the reason, pero it might have add up dun sa numbers natin kung bakit nag-search. Kasi,
ang gusto ko sa tanong ng tao, Reyna, may concern siya sa mga partners niya. I like that.
Plus, Doktora, ito lang.
Oo.
Oh, plus ito lang.
Remember, ito lang. Kung may ginagawa po kayo sa labas ng bahay nyo, then you went to your house, you're also bringing the COVID of the other house, okay? So talagang be sensitive din po doon sa nangyayari po nyo.
Yes. At saka, Doc, di ba, come to think of it, 1 year, yung mga mag-boyfriend, mag-girlfriend, 1 year yan hindi nakita-kita. Halos 1 year. For sure, pag nagkita yan, something will happen. So, let's face it. No, baka din naman kaya dumami ang numbers natin, hindi naman nila alam na carrier na pala sila. Asymptomatic sila. O, lalo na itong Yes, lalo na po itong nag-ask ng question. Many partners daw po meron siya. So, ilan na lang ang katulad ni sir na, or ni ma'am, or kung sino man siya po.
We don't know, hindi naman yung nagay. Oo.
Opo. Okay, so, salamat sa tanong. Next question.
Salamat sa tanong. Kasi kung hindi natin, marami dyan may problema, ayaw lang sabihin. And I've had contact tracers tell me, ma'am, parang may tinatago po yung mga tao. Usually meron. Kasi tao lang naman tayo eh. Okay? And it's not our job to judge.
From Miss Emmy Lakap, Doc, pwede po bang magpa-vaccine ng may prostate tsaka high blood?
Meron, pwede po. You may want to give a text message or visit po your doctor beforehand. But yes, you can be vaccinated. And in fact, dapat pa nga kung mag-vaccine yung maraming comorbidities kasi pag sila po ay nagkasakit ng COVID, mas lalo po silang in danger of dying. Okay?
From the Muhong Ligaw, how do you know if what struck you is COVID-19 already?
Alam mo, magandang tanong yan eh. The way I interpret the question is ganito po. How do you know na yung inyong ibo, sipon, panghihina is the flu or COVID? Sir, ma'am, ang hirap po talagang sagutin yon. I've been a pulmonologist for a really long time. What I could tell you po is right now, clinically, maraming mga chart po, but honestly, we don't know the difference. And that's why sometimes we rely po on loss of taste and sense of smell, pero marami pong, it's not 100% na pag yun na yun, sigurado na yun. So really, it needs to be a high sense of suspicion po talaga. And kung talagang hindi mo po akalain kung minsan. There is a story po by former Congressman Miro Kimbo, and his brother is my classmate. pre-med, si Dr. Rico Kimbo. Ang kwento nila talaga was that their tita, who is 76 years old, nang hina na lang po. That was the only thing, nang hina na lang po. So then they brought her to the hospital and they were so shocked that when she was swabbed, COVID na pala yun. So, ano talaga high index of suspicion po talaga. And sometimes, kasi dalawa yan that can be very suspicious na hindi mo nalalaman, Reyna. Pneumonia in the elderly, and which is bacterial, and of course, COVID pneumonia, which is viral as we know. Okay? Talagang mahirap. Mahirap. Okay?
From Miss Christina, are patients with psoriasis safe to receive Sinovac? Or what brand is the safest for psoriasis patients to have?
Magandang tanong yan kasi the psoriasis patients are taking an immune modulator. Ma'am, if you are taking an immune modulator po, I'd suggest you talk po to your dermatologist doctor. Okay? But I would imagine that yes, you can take. Siguro po Astra, kasi Astra is more recommended daw for comorbidities. Sige po.
From Miss Lanlan M. Messia, tatalab ba yung vaccine sa mga new variant ng virus?
Ay nako, Lan, question of the year yan. We are praying that that is the case, and the information is still ongoing, no? Marami pa rin hong mga tanong, marami pa rin hong mga trials na nangyayari. Kasi it also depends po kung kailan po ginawa yung vaccine trial eh. Like, sa Brazil po, the Sinovac was found effective, though the Brazil variant was already going around Brazil. So, magandang ano yun for Sinovac. We are still investigating the answer po to that question. I'm hoping that the vaccines would be effective against the variants. Ito pa. Ito pa ang very interesting, ano? There is a thought po, again, it's only a thought, there's only a thought po that Sinovac might be useful against, against variants. Bakit? Kasi yung Sinovac po, ang pinasok po sa katawan ng tao is the whole vaccine, is the whole COVID itself. Pinatay po yung buong COVID, linagay po sa loob ng Sinovac, and inoculate po sa tao. Unlike the other, so basically all the components, your antibodies are active against the whole, alam mo yung buong bola ng COVID, na-gets? Samantalang, yung ibang bakuna, they are active against one of the spike proteins, some of the spike proteins. Nakuha mo yun, Reyna? Some elements lang of the COVID. Si Sinovac, ang pinasok niya talaga yung buong-buo siyang COVID. Pero patay, ha? So there is a thought na the variants may change one or two aspects, like the spike na iiba, one of the few proteins. So pag yun po yung pinasok with the other vaccines, baka hindi na ho siya masyado effective. Samantalang Sinovac, yung buong COVID po yung pinasok. But again, hindi pa po yan proven. Okay? So the best thing that we can do about the variants po, number 1, get vaccinated. Number 2, again, mask, face shield, social distancing. And number 3, wait po for further studies.
From Dr. Dodge C. Lianhua, I am with you on ivermectin issues. We cannot advise against COVID, but we are not discounting its benefit yet.
Ay, totoo yan po, Dr. Dodge. Thank you for joining me. Because mahirap po talaga. Anong sasabihin natin if something happens to you and you took ivermectin, we don't know where you got it, what is in there, sino bang nagbabantay kung tama po yung ninagay natin. All these things, we cannot answer po properly. So until we know more about it, until it is licensed by the FDA, until somebody takes responsibility for the ivermectin po na inumin nyo, wag po talagang gagawa ng ganun. And unfortunately, ito lang ang sasabihin ko, no? Siyempre, the more people who want to take ivermectin, meron hong gustong kumita dito. Siyempre, we do not have an import permit. Baka humapunta sa mali pa ho yun. Desire na kumita.
Okay, from Ms. Vilma Maniego, magandang hapon po. Wala po kaya side effects sa high blood ang bakuna?
Ma'am, wala naman pong nakalagay na side effects with regards to high blood ang bakuna. Marami pong side effects ang COVID sa mga hypertensives pag na-COVID po sila. You have a higher chance po of becoming intubated, ICU'd, and in the hospital for serious COVID if you have active hypertension. So the best thing po that you should do is take your maintenance medications, magpalista na po sa bakuna and go na po. Okay? And of course, kung meron po kayong iniinom, wala naman pong masama na i-text nyo po yung doktor nyong nagreseta and say, Doc, my name is Ma'am Velma. Kayo po ang nagpareseta po ng anti-high blood po sa akin. Ako po ay tinatawag to get the vaccine. Okay? So, yun po yun. Astra is better po for comorbidities.
From Miss Heidi Vergara Chua, some people don't want to get vaccinated and wait instead for herd immunity to happen.
Ay, sorry po ma'am, ano po yon?
From Miss Heidi Vergara Chua, some people don't want to get vaccinated and wait instead for herd immunity to happen.
Naghihintay na lang po tayo ng herd immunity dahil ayaw nyo pong mabakuna. Ito lang po sasabihin ko, no, for herd immunity to occur, okay, that means po 70 million po, or 70, that means po 70% of the Philippines, or 70% of the population of the Philippines, sabihin na natin Philippines, okay, of the Philippines must be vaccinated para ho mangyari po ang herd immunity. What is herd immunity? Ito po yung parang marami na hong nabakunahan, wala na hong malipatan yung mga virus, mamatay na lang. So basically, na-immune na ho, even though we haven't vaccinated everyone, kasi the job of the virus is to jump from person to person. Parang wala na siyang ma-jumpan, kumbaga. Kasi lahat tayo protektado na, or at least 70% of us are already protected. So, herd immunity requires 70%. Yung iba pa nga ho, sinasabi nila 90% po of the population must be vaccinated or must have antibodies po from having gotten the disease. So, tingnan po natin, we have 120 million Filipinos, no? Times 0.7, that means 84 million po ang dapat pong either mabakunahan or magkasakit. Okay? So, sabihin nyo, ayaw nyo magpabakuna, you want 84 million people to get COVID. Ang tanong ko, kasya ba yung mga ER for the 84 million positives that you want to happen? Parang hindi. Okay? Remember, there's only 1,500 ventilators po sa Pilipinas. Okay? It's not that big. Ito pa nga lang 15 ta. Okay, sabihin na natin, 84 million po ang gusto nyo, no? There are not enough hospital beds. Okay. Sa 84 million po na yon, 2% po ang death rate po ng COVID. O sabihin na lang natin 2% po yung death rate. So 0.02, no? 84 times 0.02, ayan po, 1.68 million Filipinos must die. Ikaw, Reyna, kaya mo yon? Baka kumulang yung mga crematorium natin.
Ay, nako, doktora. Parang, hindi po.
Take note ha, today, 300 lang ang namamatay araw-araw. Okay? Pag naging 1.68 million yun, no, sabihin na lang nating divided by 365 days. Oh my gosh. 1 million na lang. Sabihin na lang natin 1 million divided by 365 days. So, 2,800 po must die every day for 1 year para kung ma-achieve natin yung herd immunity. Gusto nyo ba yun? Me, no. No. Don't listen po sa mga taong gano'n kasi it is mathematics. Mathematics po talaga. Yung husband ko is both a doctor and a civil engineer. Mahilig siya sa math. 2%. Just think of the word 2%. 2% must die. So if we will have herd immunity po sa Pilipinas, we will also through getting sick not through bakuna. Bakuna is trying to achieve 70% immunity through bakuna. If you want to achieve herd immunity at magkasakit na lang lahat ng tao, 1.68 million po ang mamamatay. Yun. And parang ako, I don't like that. Okay? So, wag ko kayong maniniwala sa mga magsasabi noon. They do not know the percentages and siguro madali lang magsalita. But when we put it into numbers, parang nakakapanghina po talaga. Nakakapanghina. I cannot imagine po. Siguro aabot sa tawi-tawi yung mga hospital patients dito, no, sa Metro Manila. Daw talaga wala ng kama.
From Mr. Charlie Roy. Hi po, Doktora. Tanong ko lang po, pwede po ba magpa-vaccine kahit hindi pa po controlled ang blood sugar po? By the way, I'm type 1 PM po. Thanks po and God bless. Diabetes mellitus.
Ang advice ko po sa inyo is to consult po your endocrinologist. My answer would be yes, but I am not an endocrinologist. So, consult po, I'm sure because your blood sugar is not controlled, somebody is taking care of you. Tsaka kasi I don't know your case eh. So, the best thing po to do po would be to go back to that person. At saka remember po rin it is very important po to control your blood sugar and to get vaccinated as soon as possible. Kasi po ang diabetes talaga pong pag tinamaan din problema. High percentage po of serious COVID yan.
From Mr. Harold Delim Ramos. Good day, Doc. Itatanong ko lang po kung pwede na po ba akong lumabas sa bahay at makisalumuha sa pamilya ko. To be exact, 15 days po of quarantine. Salamat po.
Sir, if you've had mild, thank you for this question and I'm sure you love your family and are concerned about their exposure. So, tama po yun. Kung 15 days na po talaga kayo since the positive test or since the first day of symptoms and 3 days na po talaga kayo walang naglat and you feel totally well, it is okay po to go out of the quarantine at makihalubilo po sa inyong pamilya without a mask. So, congrats po, sir. Again, you can read po, it's in the DOH po. It is in the DOH. So, sige po.
Pasensya na po sa background noise kanina. It's my baby.
Okay, ganun talaga.
Apo. Yes po. From Miss Charlotte de la Cruz. Hi, Doc. Tanong ko lang po, mababa ang presyon ko. Pwede po ba akong magpa-inject? Yung pong anak, inubo, pwede rin po ba siya magpa-inject? 23 years old na po siya. Ako po, 54 years old na ako. Salamat po.
Ma'am, thanks for that question. What I could tell you po is this, if someone is, sa anak muna, if someone is inuubo at may nararamdaman, ang advice ko po is wag pong magpabakuna. Kasi po, hindi po natin malalaman kung yung inuubo nyo po at linalagnat po, could be COVID or could be just a regular cough and cold. And pag naghalo po yung side effects with what you're already feeling, hindi po natin malalaman kung side effect ba yon or kanina pa kayo inuubo, kahapon pa. So, so usually sa mga ganun po, and you know this sa mga kids, di ba Rina? Pag may nararamdaman yung mga bata, hindi sila babakunahan, sasabihin, come back next week. Have you ever been advised na ganoon? Ayan, natanggal ata si Ma'am Rains. But all the moms know that kung kayo po ay bringing a kid na may ubo po, sinasabi po na wag muna. So yung anak niyo po, wag muna. Low blood, what is the meaning po ba of low blood? If your BP is 90/70, that's okay. Lalo na if you're skinny, lots of people po have BPs of 90/70 and yes, you can be vaccinated. Okay?
From Miss Grace Alipio Lakap. Good afternoon po, Doktora. Okay lang po bang mag-stock ng Lianhua Xingwen capsule? Sana I'm reading it correctly, Doktora. Sa bahay, kahit walang COVID, at paano iti-take yung gamot?
Ma'am, I am not a Chinese doctor. So I cannot give you po the best advice for that po. Hindi po ako, I don't practice traditional Chinese medicine, ma'am eh. But what I know is it was licensed by the FDA. Anything else about that? Sorry po. Maybe I should guess somebody, ma'am. Ito lang for those asking yung maraming tanong, I would like to read the DOH, ano? The DOH has prioritized po, together with the healthcare workers, the elderly, and patients with comorbidities, the Department of Health on Monday, March 29, named 7 illnesses that will qualify for early access to COVID-19 vaccines. These are patients who are under the age of 65 with the following diseases: chronic respiratory disease, that includes asthma and COPD, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, may sakit po sa puso, hypertension, high blood, malignancy, may cancer, okay? Diabetes, may diabetes, obesity, talaga pong malaking malaki, that is a risk factor, and chronic kidney disease, okay? Including yung mga na-dialysis. So if you are under 65 years old but you have the following diseases, yan po ang pwede nyo pong parehistro na po kayo even if you are not a senior citizen. Okay, nilagay din po ng DOH AstraZeneca for seniors and Sinovac for those with comorbidities. Okay? So Sinovac for comorbidities. All right? So yun po yun. If you have any of these 7 diseases that I mentioned and you are below 65 years old, magpalista na po kayo. Yung best friend ko po nabakunahan na po, chronic kidney disease. Her husband nabakunahan na po with hypertension and diabetes. Yun. Reyna, baka naman high blood si Randy. Palista mo na. Mabilis daw ang Mandaluyong. Ay, sorry. Pasig ata kayo.
Naku, Doc. Yeah, high blood po siya. Also, my dad is, pero wala pa pong tinatawagan.
Wala pa ating sa Pasig. Sa Quezon City, nagbabakuna na sila ng mga comorbids ngayon.
Si daddy po is senior, may high blood, may hypertension, and may prostate. Actually, binolunteer ko na siyang kasi gustong-gusto na po ng tatay ko. Nag-aantay lang po kami ng tawag. Kung pwede nga lang po mag-register sa Mandaluyong, sa Manila, kung sino na lang po ang mauna, go. Yun na po ang gusto ng daddy ko. Ako din, doktora ha, just to encourage everybody, if meron po kayong mga elderly, iba kasi ang sitwasyon sa ospital. Pagka po nakita nyo yung sitwasyon sa ospital, doon nyo po sasabihin na, sige na, daddy, mami, magpapakuna ka na. Totoo, Dok. Saka left and right, ang mga
umikot ng Cardinal and St. Luke's, Quezon City, doktor na siya, natakot din siya.
Madali po kasing magsabi sa yung mga iba pong netizen, madali pong magsabi sa kanila kasi hindi po nila nakikita yung actual na nangyayari. So, lahat is puro, yes. Okay, honestly, next.
Good. Okay?
Yes po. Yes po. Okay, from Miss Jerry Yumol. Hi, Doktora. From Macabebe, Pampanga. Nakaramdam po ng sinat. 30 minutes lang po. Inuubo, makatila lamunan at tuyo ang sipon. Positive na po ba yun?
We don't know. Ang tanong ko, what is the meaning of sinat? Kasi kung minsan, and kung nagpe-persist po, no? If it is persisting, if you're not getting better, it would be better po to get a swab. Pero ngayon pa lang po, if meron na pong ganon, isolate yourself already. Kasi baka mahawa po yung mga kasama sa bahay. Ngayon, if you are really not feeling good, parang pababa na po yung pakiramdam nyo, it might be good to get a swab. If you have no money to get a swab, just stay in your room for 14 days.
Okay. From si Miss Marilyn De Jesus Cortez. Hi, ma'am. Doktora, what can you say about the Chinese medicine na nagtitrend sa video ni former Mayor Abalos? Is it safe to use for anyone who have COVID?
It is FDA approved po, ma'am. and supposedly po for symptomatic, ano po, yung may symptoms. But again, I'm not po a traditional Chinese doctor, so I really can't say much about it. Pero na-approve naman po siya ng FDA. That I can tell you. Opo.
I think, Doktora, dati po, wala pa po yatang pandemic bago to na-aprobahan.
Oo,
Diba po?
na-approve na yan. Oo. No, sometime last year.
Last year, okay. Okay, Doktora, next question po. From Mr. Harold Delim Ramos, Doc, posible ba na mag-negative ka na after 14 days sa RT-PCR? Kasi record po sa amin na mag-negative para makalipad na po ako papuntang Saudi.
Yun na nga po talaga yung problem eh. Sometimes really there's a job requirement, there's a traveling requirement po talaga. So wala po tayong choice, we have to comply with a second swab. Pero kung wala naman pong requirement, you are really okay po to leave your house after 14 days. Na okay na po kayo and you have not felt anything, you have no symptoms, maganda po yung pakiramdam nyo, wala pong lagnat for the last 3 days. Pero unfortunately, kung minsan may mga situation po talaga na job-related or travel-related, wala po tayong magagawa. We have to comply.
No.
From Mr. Dodge, Dr. Dodge C. Iboco, great job, Dr. Ana. You are really an angel for our Kabalen. Kabalen ba to?
Kabalen.
Kabalen, okay po.
Thanks, Dr. Dodge. Kayo rin po. Actually, I'm going to call Dr. Dodge kasi may pasyente ako may kidney stone. Okay? Talagang, it's good na nakikinig siya. Thanks, sir.
Okay, from Miss Natividad Morong. Gandang hapon po, Doktora. Ako po si Natividad Morong. May heart failure at asthmatic. Pwede po ba akong magpa-vaccine?
Actually, ma'am, mas lalo pa po nga kayong dapat magpabakuna. What you should do, ma'am, is consult. I'm sure you have a doctor kasi po ang heart failure, may doktor talaga yan. Ang advice ko po sa inyo, magpalista na po kayo and then consult your doctor. I mean, kahit inform nyo lang po through text messaging, Doc, magpapabakuna po ako. I hope it is okay. Sometimes the municipality will require you to get a clearance from your doctor and please do so. At wala naman pong masamang magpa-clearance kasi alam ko po marami sa atin, hindi rin po nagpapatingin ngayong taon na to kasi po nininervous din po tayo sa COVID. This might be a good time for you to get in touch din naman po with your doctor. Okay? Kumbaga, isabay mo na yung check-up, isabay mo na yung clearance. And again, this can be done via video. Okay? This can be done via video.
Okay. From Miss Grace Gutierrez Evangelista. Pwede po ba magpa-vaccine ang nagme-maintenance? Senior po ako.
Ma'am, dapat pong magpa-vaccine ang nagpapa-maintenance. Lalo na po kung senior. I just read po the 7 diseases na kahit hindi po senior pwede na. So, lalo na ho kung senior kayo at nagme-maintenance, all the more reason po that you should be vaccinated. Again, consult po yung nagpareseta po ng mga maintenance po yun. Okay? Palista na po.
From Miss Pinky Gutierrez, breastfeeding po. Pwede po ba magpa-COVID vaccine?
That is a very good question, ma'am. And in the US, they have vaccinated po breastfeeding moms. And the good thing is, nagkaroon pa po daw ng antibodies yung mga kids. But again, I would consult your pediatrician or your OB po before doing so. Okay?
From Miss Nenita Bobadilla Reyes, tama lang po ba na nag-positive? Medyo, tama lang po ba na nakapag nag-positive after 14 days quarantine without having re-swab, considered okay na po ba yon? Lalo na kung asymptomatic. Kumbaga, malaya na po ulit lumabas without confirmation kung negative na ba.
Yes, ma'am, there is no need. If you have a mild COVID, mas lalo na ho, kung wala kayong simptomas, you are okay to leave after 14 days. Just make sure, kung may simptomas naman po kayo, Just make sure po na naka 14 days kayo from the time that the symptoms started or from the time that you were swabbed, and 3 days na pong walang lagnat at hindi po umiinom ng paracetamol. Okay?
From Miss Aquario Gabriel Agnes, sorry. Good PM po, Doktora. 2 weeks na po ako may vaccine ng anti-pneumonia. If ever na makapagpa-vaccine po ako ng COVID, pwede na po ba ako makakuha ng COVID vaccine?
Ma'am, yes, it's okay. Medyo may space na po kayo. You've had 2 weeks po of anti-pneumonia and that's good. You can take a COVID vaccine na rin po. Huwag lang ho pagsabay-sabay kasi pag may nangyari hong side effect yung isa, hindi po natin alam, lalo na pag dalawa. That's why I try to space the vaccines of my patients. Pwede na po yung 2 weeks. Opo. And anyway, ma'am, kung magpalista kayo, kung minsan it takes time din naman so you will not be called immediately. Pero sa Quezon City, walk-in na lang daw Congratulations, wow. Quezon City.
Paano kaya yun, Doktora? So, sa mga mga
meron po nag-walk-in na kababayan sa Quezon City. May dala-dalang reseta ng hypertensive drugs.
Okay, Doktora. So, sandali lang po. Gusto ko pong itanong yan personally. Kasi nga si Daddy po ay senior at may mga comorbidity na. So, magdadala lang po siya ng mga reseta. Ganun po, ipapakita.
Of course, I don't want to say na papuntahin mo lang yung tatay mo, no? The best thing would be to talk to the barangay captain. Pero somebody called us up kanina lang po. He is not a senior. He is hypertensive. He walked in po sa Quezon City with a barangay certificate and a paper po saying that he's hypertensive at nabakunahan po siya. He is 48 years old. Ayan po.
I see. No, what I'm saying is, Doktora, halimbawa, schedule nyo na po. Kung may comorbidity ka, kailangan nyo po bang ipakita yung mga nire-reseta sa inyong...
Yeah, it's better naman to bring a proof naman na meron kang comorbidity, di ba?
Okay, at least malinaw po para po sa kaalaman din po ng lahat.
Some people will require a clearance.
I see. Okay.
So, ask muna. Okay?
Okay po. Okay. Next po. From Miss Rosalinda Chico Abelio. Good day po ulit, Doktora. May tito at tita po akong positive. Mag-asawa po sila. Una pong sinipon tita ko. Inubo at yung asawa po kidney transplant. Namatay po siya ngayon. I'm sorry to hear this po, Miss Rosalinda.
Namatay po yung tito.
Okay po. So yung asawa po kidney transplant, namatay po siya ngayon. Ngayon po yung mga pinsan ko po ang tumutulong bumuhat sa cadaver tito ko at yung tita ko, siya din po nakaalalay. Ang tanong po, ilang days po ba bago sila i-swab test para makita po kung accurate yung resulta? I think tinatanong niya kasi yung mga pinsan-pinsan niya.
Sandali. If somebody died of COVID, that person needs to be cremated. Hindi po pwedeng buhatin yung cadaver noon. Strict
so, yun.
I don't know. What did the tito die of?
I think binuhat po according to the statement po is mga pinsan po niya is binuhat yung
cadaver. Hindi buhatin ng cadaver. Kasi if you died of COVID, you need to be cremated. Ma'am, ganito na lang, okay? Ma'am, we would like to comment on that. First of all, I'm so sorry to hear na namatay po yung tito niyo, okay? Malungkot po yon. Number one, I cannot understand the question kasi I don't know who's positive, the tito, the tita, or the cousins. So, ma'am, pakilinaw lang po talaga what happened. And number two is, if the tito really passed away from COVID, kailangan po talagang i-cremate po yung namatayan po. Yung namatay. Okay. Again, I'm so sorry to hear this. Ma'am, if you want us to make a comment, paki-provide lang po yung details kasi medyo naguguluhan ako. Ikaw ba, Rene, did you understand the question?
Opo. Bali po, this is how I understand the statement po. Meron po siyang tito and tita. So, both of them nag-positive. Yung tita po niya, yung girl,
If someone became positive and passed away, there cannot be a cadaver.
But unfortunately, according sa
Ay,
statement niya,
nako, ma'am, masama po 'to. We need to this is not allowed po by the DOH. Magkakagulo po.
sige po, basahin ko po ulit
I
ng
didn't
para
understand the question. O sige, ano
sige po,
nga?
basahin ko
So
po ulit.
there's a tito and the tita got positive, and the tito
Opo,
died. And now there's
yes,
a cadaver.
yes po.
Okay, and the
Tapos
cousins are
po,
carrying the cadaver.
yes po,
Eto lang
yes
po,
po.
and I'm really so sensitive to this kasi po ako po ay namatayan na rin po. Ma'am, kung may namatay pong COVID positive, you need to coordinate po talaga with the barangay captain, with the municipal health officer po, and the hospital po where the person passed away. Ngayon, sila po
Doc,
yung mag-a-advise po sa inyo what is the proper protocols po.
yan, nag-follow up na po si Miss Rosalinda Chico Abello. Doktora, binuhat po kasi asa taas po siya sa room nila. Kinuha po siya para
Okay. Binaba. Okay. Oh.
parehas po silang positive. Hindi po kasi siya kaya po buhatin. Tinulungan po nila yung kumuha ng cadaver.
Oh my gosh. Tumutulong lang pala yung cousins. Okay, I get it. Mom, I'm sorry to really hear this. I hope that the cousins were wearing masks po when they entered the room. I'm so sorry. Malungkot ito. Uh, all household, ma'am, ganito na lang ha. Since I don't know rin naman po if the cousins just help na buhat po yung cadaver. Ma'am, ang best advice ko ganito. Ma'am, mag-consult po kayo dun sa municipal health officer po ng lugar ninyo whether the cousins should isolate themselves, should quarantine din po kasi sa kamamatay lang po ng tao, of course, the place is parang ospital yan, Reyna eh. You cannot go in without an N95 and things like that. Opo. So, I guess we will have po to consult with the municipal health officer po ng lugar ninyo whether your cousin should quarantine again or not. Again, I'm so sorry po talaga sa nangyari. And, Diyos ko, ang dami talagang namamatay. I'm actually affected po, ano? My best advice, magpa-consult po tayo dun sa, sa municipal health officer po, whether your cousin should quarantine or not. But I am sure naman po that they wore a mask po doon. Though, talagang, Reyna, sa mga situation na ganito talagang, talagang, it's really so painful. It's really so painful. Yun lang ang masasabi ko.
From Miss Jenny Tatlong Hari, good afternoon po. Bakit po mas recommended ang Astra sa mga may comorbidity kaysa Sinovac? Ano po ba ang differences nila? Thanks.
Ma'am, actually, these are just subtle differences na lang po in the vaccine. Like, uh, um, it is the way po that the trials were conducted. But actually po, 99.9% of the vaccines are safe. And Astra po is suggested for seniors kasi po yung Sinovac was not tested po in seniors. Wait, pero nakalagay naman po dito is uh, comorbidities of younger persons po, okay naman po to get Sinovac. Wait lang po ah. So, let me let me check on that precisely. Bakit po Astra is recommended for comorbidities for seniors? But then, sorry for Sinovac po, for younger persons with comorbidities, Sinovac po. For older persons po with comorbidities, it is Astra.
Ayan po, sana po malinaw na po. Okay,
Ayan.
next question po.
But again, ma'am, it really also depends po kung ano po yung nasa inyong municipality. Pero I just wanted to clarify, 99.9% po of the vaccines are safe. 99.99999. Kasi wala naman yung 100 eh. Opo. But really, it's pretty safe. It is pretty safe.
From Mr. Hirana Cabrillos, good PM po, Doc. Nawala. Miss Kat? Okay. Good PM po, Doc. Okay, from Mr. Ramira na Cabrillos. Good PM po, Doc. Sino po ba na magpabakuna ang diabetic at may CKD pa? Ano po yung CKD, Doktora? Parang nakalimutan ko na po ito.
Probably on dialysis na po is what he means. Opo. Yes, ma'am. Sir, pwede po sila magpabakuna. Actually, dapat po sila magpabakuna. And kung controlled po yun, it's okay. Kung medyo sobrang active po at mataas na mataas sa asukal nyo, you need to again to consult your doctor. Okay?
Okay po. Next po. Miss Kat. From Miss Remy Reyes. Good afternoon po, Doktora. Safe po ba magpa-vaccine if allergic sa Ponstan?
Ma'am, actually, you have to be allergic po to a component of the vaccine. Hindi po kayo, there is no constant po dun sa vaccine. So that should be okay. But again, I would like you to consult your doctor din po. Okay? Ma'am Rains, we are in the last two questions kasi umabot na tayo ng 1 hour. Marami pa ho ba tayong tanong?
Mga lima na lang po ito, Doktora.
Okay, we'll just answer the few questions. Siguro po, last two, and then the rest carry over na lang po. Okay?
Okay po. Miss Kat, puro questions na lang po. I-skip na natin yung mga readings po. From Miss Cathy Mendoza Bungay, good afternoon po. Vaccinated na po kami ng anti-pneumonia ng mister ko. Need pa po ba kami magpa-vaccine ng anti-COVID? Thanks po.
Yes, ma'am. Kasi po, iba po yung sakit ng pulmonya, iba po yung sakit ng COVID. So, give some space between the two vaccines and you can get vaccinated po for COVID.
From Miss Eden Nalipaw, good day, Doc. Possible po ba na may pneumonia pa rin kahit negative na sa COVID?
You can get, you mean COVID pneumonia? Ito po, okay. I am interpreting this question po. Yes, ma'am, it is possible to get bacterial pneumonia and you will be COVID negative kasi po wala po kayong COVID. Ang sakit niyo po is bacterial pneumonia. So, you can get that po. Lalo na if you're elderly at marami din pong mga ibang sakit. So, sa inyo pong lahat, thanks for joining us. To Ma'am Rosalinda, again, I'm so sorry po dun sa tanong. I'm so sorry namatay po yung tsuhin nyo. And I'm hoping that everybody will be okay. The best person po, siguro to answer that question po, would be your municipal health officer po na nandun. Kasi hindi ko po alam yung details eh. Opo. And siguro, maybe during this week, it's not the best time po na maungkat ng details. But I'm sure your doctor or your uncle's doctor or the municipal health officer po sa inyong lugar can best advise. Again, I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm sure you're also sorry, Rains. Si Ma'am Rosalinda, always po yan.
Yes po, Doktora. So, i-carry over na lang po natin lahat ng remaining questions for the next episode po. Yun po. That's all that we have today for today, Doktora.
So, maraming salamat po. And I guess to everyone, I mean, we just heard the sad story, no? I mean, it touched us. I'm sure it touched all of you. Yes, COVID is real po. Mayroon pong namamatayan. Namamatayan po yung mga taong close to us, people that we know, our cousins, close friends, relatives po ng ating mga friends, lolo and lola. Sa akin po, my classmates sa parents were hospitalized 2 weeks ago, mga friends. So talagang malapit na po talaga sa atin ang COVID. So I'd advise everyone to stay at home. Kung hindi po kailangan, wag na po lumabas. If you can convince your boss to work from home, please do so. Number 3 po, if hindi naman po kailangan, and again, kung kailangan po talagang lumabas because we also have jobs, we need to wear our mask. We need to wear po our face shields and we need to stay 6 feet away to be socially distanced. But the most important po, kahit malungkot pa po yung situation, remember there is hope and the hope po is in the vaccines that are coming. So kayo po ay tinawag na po, magpalista na po. If you're a senior, a healthcare worker, or someone with comorbidities, binanggit ko nga po, cancer, hypertension, cardiac disease, pulmonary disease, chronic kidney disease, diabetes po, and hypertension. Magpalista na po. If you are younger, you're not a senior, pwede na rin po kayong mabakunahan. So sa inyo po lahat, please, there is hope and that hope is within us. Okay, salamat
Doc,
po. Good afternoon.
basahin ko lang po yung pinadala ni Miss Mayna Sabado.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Dr. Ana. This is from Miss Mayna Sabado. I am vaccinated and I am okay. Asa na po? My comorbidity, asa na? No, nawala po. Wait lang, doktora ha. I am vaccinated and I am okay. May comorbidity ako and malaking tulong ito. Yun po, Doc.
Ayan, Miss Mina is my best friend. She's the one who recommended Miss Reina to me. Um, she has many comorbidities po, but because she's a barkada po of 4 doctors, we all harassed her na pabakuna ka na. Ngayon po, she got vaccinated with Sinovac. She is well po, and she is hopefully waiting po, eagerly waiting for her second dose. And thank you so much. You know what? Ito lang sabihin ko everyone is an influencer po ngayon. Baka isipin mo, I'm not an influencer, I'm just a normal person. But you know what? You have a family, you have coworkers, you have Facebook friends, you have pamangkins, you have mga kasambahay, you have employees. Lahat po yun, baka you don't know. You might be influencing them po na lakasan din po ang loob nila para magpapakuna. So everyone, you know, the government paid na for the vaccines. Ini-implement na po. Ngayon, tayo naman po, it's our job ngayon to move forward po talaga, to move forward to get ourselves vaccinated. And once we get vaccinated po, to share our experiences with others, with our family, with our close friends, with our job, para po sila po, lumakas din po yung loob to move forward to get vaccinated. So the hope po is with us. Nasa atin po yun. The end of this pandemic is also with us. So we have a lot of power right now, each and every one of us po. Hindi po ako, hindi po ako bilang doktor, hindi po. It is kayo bilang nabakunahan tao, bilang pamilyadong tao, bilang boss po, bilang empleyado, bilang kaibigan, bilang kapatid, bilang tita or tito. So, hopefully you will inspire others and we can move forward para matapos na po ito. Okay, sa inyo po lahat, magandang hapon po. Thank you.